Prepping Radio, this is Chiara Nicoletti from Alice nella Città. I'm in company of Lino DiSalvo, director of Playmobil the movie, screening at Alice. So, what was the starting point for you since, as you said in the press notes, the only rules when you're playing with Playmobil is that there are the only rules are the ones that you create yourself. So
yeah. So for me, the first thing as a director in creating the story is you have to do research. So as an animator from Disney for a long time, it's in my head. You have to be an expert, or else you can't tell the story. So for a toy movie, all I have to do is watch my children play with toys. So the whole movie really is, it's a love letter to my family. It's how I play with my children. It's the importance of I think how important it is to play with children. Let them use their imagination. My daughter loves to sing when she plays with her toys, so I knew there had to be songs in the movie. But yeah, the themes for me is, in the movie is, when you grow up, it takes a while for you to realize that the obstacles in your life, they make you who you are. And I think as a young person, you don't see that when you're young. So I think it's very important I'm someone that has a lot of anxiety, so it's very easy for me to dwell on the negative. And I think it's an important lesson that we have to dwell on the positive, right? You have to give yourself a break in the day, and you have to be a little bit easier on yourself. And I think as young people, there's a lot of stress in the world, with social media. And I think it's really important that you find a moment to be good to yourself and to play with your friends and your family. And as a father, it's very important that for a couple of hours a day at least, you're playing with your children.
why do you think is it so difficult to stay connected with that part of you that was young, that was playing, that enjoyed dreaming?
Yeah, well, I think that the children in us, and I see it every day with my children, is I think the very first act is for you to be positive. But then you become an adult, and your very first impression of something is to be negative. And you can't help it. Like, as you get older, you just have this pessimistic thing starts, and I think you have to get back to how you used to think as a child. Like, my kids are always running around, singing, happy, no problems. And it's the part of the day that helps me. It's when I come back from work, we play, we have fun, and it's what the movie's about.
There's a moment in the film in which they find like this magical place, an ideal magical place. Well, what would that place be for you? Because I found myself thinking about what would be what the magical place for me.
That's a good question. What would the magical place be for? I think I would visit all the movies I worked on in my life, and because the thing is, hopefully it comes across in the film, is when you buy a box of Playmobil, they're like a genre movie, right? So the journey of this movie in Playmobil is you're going from spy to fairy tale, and I'm exaggerating, I'm caricaturing the different genre movies. I think when I daydream and I dream, and when I play with my children, and you're in the spy set, I play like James Bond, right?
What was the most important lesson that you think you learned from working with Disney and then you put into this project that was, I think, more free in a way?
Yeah, I think story is everything. I think you have to believe in the protagonist. I think you have to be rooting for them. And I'm not a cynical person, right? Like, I want to get in there and create a story that the whole family can watch. But for me at Disney, the one thing I learned is research, research, research.
What would you like kids and not only kids to get away with this film?
Yeah, I think it's find your sibling, play with your parent, create games, invent new things, do art, use your imagination. It's a wonderful feeling. And I love technology, I love playing video games and watching movies, but you have to find time to play. It was very important for me growing up. I was so bored as a kid, sometimes I would have nothing to do, but those are the moments when you create, right? That's when you find your imagination. And I think there's so many parents, we have our kids do a million things, and sometimes my wife and I, we're like, no, let them be bored. Let them go create something, and it works.
I like that. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Lino,
Grazie.
for being with us.
Thank you.